Good morning and welcome to Ag Talking Raw, where I talk raw about agriculture and other things that are on my mind. I don't know, you think this hat's pretty cool or what? I don't know, I like it. But anyways, with that being said, I like it. Therefore, it doesn't matter what you think, right? I guess that's my opinion. Anyway, I'm going to read some questions and comments that are on the Farm Talk Live for the 19th of July. It is now the 22nd. Yeah, I just figured it'd be good to do that. Here we go. It says, don't all of the this is some of the things. I was talking about the throttles on the international harvesters, which I absolutely hate them. But anyways, me and the missus, don't all the 10 and 20 series John Deeres have the throttle above the steering wheel? My 2010 does. No, it's actually to the side. It is a more natural, here's your hand on the steering wheel. It's kind of like the column, the shifting column on the old cars where you, I think pickup trucks are still there. So you just, I don't know, I haven't been in a new pickup truck in a while, but my 2010 does, right there. So it's just kind of natural to do that on the side. The internationals are up over the top. It's this really awkward thing, I just don't like it. So anyway, always a good time to be had when a banjo's involved. Yeah, generally, it isn't bad. My hands are so stiff anymore from, I don't know, I think Lyme disease and overwork. Who knows? Being a mechanic at a Kia dealer sounds like good job security. Could be. Could be. Wasn't too thrilled about the amount of money that they charged her for sure. Here in Norfolk, UK, we have more field fires than I can care to count. Farmers have lost acres of grain. Firefighters have been running circles, putting them out and saving as much as they can. Yes, the best firefighter, the best fire suppression or fire stopper is a John Deere tractor and a disc, or a JCB and a disc harrow, something to just take the fuel away from the fire. Just cut it off. That'll work. Water doesn't do much in a wheat field. And I just watched Lord Muck's video, and he was showing that they desperately need rain in England. So in Norfolk, he was there at Norfolk. Yes, Mr. Lord Muck just commented. So anyways, with that being said, cool. Anyways, I like Teresa. She does good videos. Well, she does. She's a good girl. I missed the new hat. Have you tried Krone mower? Nice work. Is the Gale working? The Gale mower works just fine. We're not using it right now because I'm looking at the 10-day forecast. Let me take a look here. Last night when I went to bed, the next 10 days are going to be solid rain. It started raining yesterday afternoon. We might be changing that. Nope. Oh yeah, we do. We get Sunday. It's mostly cloudy, but for the most part, that's the weather forecast. Next Sunday, 1 week from today, it's supposed to be mostly cloudy. Still 50%, 80% chance of rain, 70%, then it drops Friday and Saturday to 30%. There's just no haymaking weather in the forecast. So the Gale mower is sitting just like the John Deere in the case. I actually put them inside because I knew that it was going to be rainy. I don't want them outside. Yep, that's what I did. You don't play well with others because you don't want to share your toys. That's not true. I have blacked out like that a couple of times, just like that, because of pain. Used tractor prices up in Wes's area. I don't know what that means. I was just helping a friend in Maryland try to replace his for his farm. So the price of used tractors are up. Okay. Great live stream. Thank you. If someone gave you an Acro auto stack wagon, would you use it or sell it? Well, if somebody gave it to me, I'd definitely use it. If somebody gives me something, of course, I'm not going to just say, oh, thanks for the gift and thanks for the money, I'd never do that. With 10,000 cattle herd, first tractor I worked was a 3200. We used to take from a nursery and load trucks with dirt and mulch. I was shocked after your ride in the JCB Fast Track you didn't end up with one in your fleet. If you take your shirt off, I will be waiting to see John Voight, Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty, Ronnie Cox come walking in. Well, I did a live stream without my shirt on, and they flagged it, so I can't do that. And I don't really like to, walk around with my shirt off. I do love this hat, though. I mean, I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. I love them. Someone said that they're doing another movie of it. I can't imagine. I mean, Harrison Ford is getting pretty damned old. And he's a great actor and stuff, but how much action can you do at 76 years old, 77 years old, without having a freaking heart attack? These programs for help. Why did the 8120 video get taken down? It got taken down by me. I used the word mating, and apparently mating and YouTube don't go together. You can't mate on YouTube, meaning mating two things together, not sex. I mean, you can't have sex on YouTube. Well, actually, I think you can. You just have to age restrict it and say that, it's for educational purposes, and then you can have all the sex you want. So there you go. Oh, very nice videos. Greetings from Germany. I'd like to see Germany, to be quite honest with you. I've been to Japan, and I've been to Belgium. I've been to England. Of course, here in the United States I live. Been to the Philippines, Taiwan, and these are all huge World War II areas. Taiwan, I need to explore more. Japan, I need to explore more. I've been to Hiroshima, as you know, if you watched my other channel. But you know what? It would be really cool to see what Germany looks like today. What was rebuilt after it was bombed out. Of course, France is on my list also. Not Paris. I'm not into Paris. I mean, Teresa would want to go to the Eiffel Tower, but that's about the farthest I'm going into Paris. I mean, that's probably the heart of Paris, but whatever. I would like to go to the south of France to see, like along the Mediterranean. There's a lot of neat stuff there, but I just don't have the money for that stuff. Love your videos of your farming operation, Family Center. I've been watching a few years now from Indianapolis. Well, Ron Gross, thanks for being here. Well, Wes, George Rake Baler video was kind of okay, but George always as awkward as he can be. His end fields were already raked. In fact, 2 round fields were done instead of just baling those in and be rid of them. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. When you're baling good hay, if you don't know this, the outside rounds are generally the last to dry. At least that's the way it is in the United States. I don't know how it is in England or anywhere else in the world, but when I was a kid, the first job that I really had was to rake hay. And you started in the middle of the field, and you did the outside rounds last, because I had a single roll-a-bar rake. What a suck-ass job that was. I hated that thing. My dad always fertilized to make the most off of every field that we could get, so the little baler could not handle 2 windrows together. It wasn't like the round baler. When we went to the round baler, things went a lot faster. But we were always we never went around and around and around in circles. Even though I went around and around in circles because you could only rake 1 windrow. So if you had a 20-acre field, you go down, run the headlands, come up, run the headlands, go down, run the headlands, come up, then run the headlands in a circle till you got to the center of the field, and then you had these 2 windrows that were really close together, and then you did the outside rounds, which you had to kick inward. Because if you kicked them outward, you'd put that last windrow into the bushes, and you didn't want to do that. So you kicked those inward. They were always the wettest. So there's a reason somebody raked that ahead of schedule. Probably because they wanted him to bale it first, and he didn't. I don't know. I watched the video, not completely through, because I just don't have the time to watch every video completely through. I am going to finish watching it here when I'm done making this video, because it's interesting. And I've always thought of a front-mounted hay rake. I think that they're pretty much tits. So, about the setup, I would not even bother try a front rake. One would have to wait for the hay to be dry enough for baling while it is all laying flat on the ground. I'd rather have the rake 30 minutes by other rakes into the field and just bale. I agree with you. I mean, for my business, the mulch hay business, the the moisture can vary. It can be anywhere from 10 to 25% moisture. I get it into a bale, get it into a stack, and it'll equalize over the course of the winter, the winter months. But if you're baling good hay, feed quality hay, you really want it to be super duper dry, like 10 to 12%. Nothing over 15%, because one bad bale will ruin the rest of the stack. It just will, especially if you're tarped. That's why I never really put too much effort into building that system for the front of the baler. And the other thing is, I wouldn't actually build a system for the front of the tractor. I'd build it for the front of the baler. There's a Spanish company that builds two huge hydraulically driven roller bar rakes that feed a Krone baler. It's not made by Krone. It's made for the Krone balers. And yeah. It was pretty awesome. I think that would work really well for me. Of course, it's expensive. So, is it more expensive than fuel and a tractor and a driver? Yes. Yes, it actually is. So, that's just the way it is. All right, so I've gotten through the comments. There really wasn't too many, only 23 on this particular video, so it was easy enough to do. And I still only have 11 minutes on the clock. So here we go. There's a lot of dry areas in the world, really weird areas of the world. Europe is in a major drought, not all of it, but a fair portion of it. I watch another channel, just started watching him, Tom Pemberton, Farm Life. Good channel, I think, does a good job. It's him and his dad most of the time that I see, in the videos that I've seen in the last few weeks. I've only watched maybe 4 just because I'm interested. And they finally did get rain, and they were putting on what they called till. I don't know what till is, but I would say it looked like ammonium nitrate or urea. To me, that's what it looked like, that they were putting on their grass to get it to green up so they could pasture their animals. Earlier in the year, they were draining wet spots out of the fields with a subsoiler, and it worked. That worked. So they've gone from extreme wet to extreme dry. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, check his channel out. He does a really good job. Tom Pemberton. I'm sure it's Tom Pemberton. Tom Pemberton, the Farm Life. Don't mistake it for the other Farming Life channel. Because it's very, very different. Very, very different. More of what I want to see. It's a dairy farm. Of course, I was dairy until 2011. Yes, there are some videos of me milking cows and things like that. Way back in the archives. Probably from 2009, 10, 11 in there. I didn't advertise that we sold the cows. It was kind of a sad day, but they're gone. I wish milking cows was a sustainable industry here in the United States for, small dairymen, and it's not. It's really sad. You have to have off-farm jobs, or a spouse that's off the farm doing things to produce enough income for, to support the farm, and that's just sad, and it's wrong. But you know what? It's life, I guess. You just need to build a bridge and get over it, and realize that mega dairies are what's killing the small farm and the small dairyman, and actually mega farms are killing small farms. I mean, there's another guy that I watch, the Bandit Farmer. I don't watch him too often, but I do catch his videos, and he's another good YouTuber. I mean, he does a good job. He only farms about 100 acres. That's it. And years ago, like when I was a kid, we did, when I was a kid, before my grandfather died in 1981, we were farming about 800 acres. Now, 800 acres was a lot. My dad, my grandmother, my grandfather, my mother, us kids, we all helped out. We had hired men to do this work. Now, mind you, we were using 10, 20, and 30 series tractors. They were old tractors, a 4010, 4320, 4430. That's what we did all this ground with, and a New Holland TR70 combine. So, yeah, it was different, and then after my grandfather died, we let a lot of that ground go, because my dad just couldn't get it all done, and, milking a herd of cows, milk at that time wasn't the worst thing in the world. So we just concentrated on the dairy, let most of the grain land, the cropland go, and we were probably only farming 200 acres. in total, 200 acres, maybe a little more than that, 250 acres or so. Maybe, I don't think we hit 300 acres at that point. I know every acre. We had a lot of it in CRP, Conservation Reserve Program, and where we had to mow it. And you want to talk about an annoying job? You mow 150 acres with a freaking 6-foot brush hog. Not fun. So, but anyways, that's what we did. And then when I grew up and became, a man and bought stuff, equipment, I started farming myself, and that was right after high school. I graduated in 1991, and I started growing corn, or not corn. I didn't grow corn. I love to grow corn. I mean, we grew corn for the cows, but I grew soybeans and wheat and some hay. I had some ground that I had acquired from while I was in high school, and I had acquired the ground, cleared it. I did a lot of work, but that's just the way that worked out. And now I'm at over 3,000 acres of ground, and I'm pretty happy. I'd like to really expand it to 5,000 acres, and I do expect to get that 5,000 acre expansion, and at some point. So if I hit 5,000 5,000 actual acres, there will be corn and soybeans back into the mix, because I know some really good ground that I'd like to get my hands on that will support corn and soybeans, and the deer population over in those areas of the world are not so bad, and that's just my future plans. I'm 46 years old. I got another 25 years in this business, and then I'll just turn it over to whoever's going to take it over, whether it's my sons or my nephew or my nephews. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. They're going to have to buy me out of the equipment, obviously. But other than that, that's just the way it is. So if you're, you may get a nude shot of Teresa in here. So let me shut that. Oh, yes, I'm not wearing pants. Isn't that an amazing thing? You see, I don't have to wear pants when I go to work in the morning. Isn't that funny? But anyhow, I'll probably get flagged now. As long as I look good from here down, I'm good. But yeah, if you wondered what kind of underwear I wear, then now you know. So, but anyways, what was I going to say? I'm all flustered. So if you're wondering what's going to happen to the farm when I get old and retire, or quit, or, turn it over. Suppose my nephews don't want it. Suppose my sons don't want it. Then I guess it dies. That's just the way the small farms go anymore, is they just die. It's a huge responsibility. I mean, there's a lot of weight on my shoulders to keep everything up and going. Paying taxes is just killing me. I mean, Jesus Christ, I got so much money in taxes anyway. But with that being said, we can move on to other things. Weather is a very big, very important thing. So I was out in Lancaster County a few days ago to pick up that pump for my Case windrower, and we went through some areas where the corn was like really nice, and then we went through a much larger area up towards Lidditz, Pennsylvania, and the corn is like literally shoulder high to me standing, and all the leaves on the lower half of the plant is dead. There's no weeds even growing. It is, not because of the herbicide that they used, but because it is so dry that the weeds died along the roads. Dead, just dead. There's the grass. They don't have to mow the grass. There's no need to mow the grass. So we've got this 10-day window of rain, and it's rained quite a bit. We're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches in total, which is kind of going to screw the pooch for me. I mean, it's really going to be kind of tough to get everything done in a timely fashion. I got 10 days out of the middle of the summer is a lot, especially in one big chunk, because after this 10-day goes through, am I going to get 10 days of dry weather? Doubtful. I'll probably get 3 or 4 days of dry weather and then back into a rain system. And then another 4 or 5 days of dry weather. And the problem with wet weather like what we're going to have now is that the hay will dry on the top, but because there's so much moisture in the ground, it's just going to stay wet on the bottom side. And it'll shut me down from doing late night baling, because I really need to get a lot of stuff baled late at night. and I'll bale till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning at this time of the year because the ground is usually pretty dry and I don't have this huge onset of dew. Now, I know you'll see other farmers, other farm channels baling until 10, 11 o'clock at night, fighting all the way. That's not going to make quality hay. Unless they're throwing a shit ton of preservative on it, it will mold. It will mold. For my business, it doesn't matter. I'm in the mulch hay business. It doesn't matter. I can have moldy hay. It doesn't matter, you know. And if I bale it at 20-25% moisture, it will dry out over the course of the next 6 months. It'll be dry this time of year next year. If it's under tarp, it'll be 2% moisture. It will dry out. It won't rot. It'll just dry out, especially if it's under tarp. So, yeah, so that's just the way it is. So we're getting this rain. I'm sure there's going to be a reduced yield in the corn yields. Soybeans, they're great for recovering. Wheat harvest here is just about done. A friend of mine up the road here, he was just finishing up. He's on his way to Oshkosh, and he's going to check out the airplanes and stuff, the World War II airplanes and World War I, World War II aircraft in Oshkosh. He invited me to go along. I just have too much work to do to get ready for the next 5 sunny days of weather. You know, I mean, I'll catch up and get it done. I mean, I've done some work to the mower that did not get filmed. I've done some work to the case windrower that is filmed and I will be putting up. I do have to finish putting up the Westendorf loader videos, which are really cool. You know, I think I'm only going to do one more and then ta-da, it's on. And then I've got another series of video that I actually need to plug in my camera and get that done with. And that's all on the One Lonely Farmer channel. You probably already know that. But yeah, so the weather is turning here, and we're going to probably have a super-duper bumper crop of soybeans. Not me, I don't have beans this year. But my neighbors, they were planting right up until 7 days ago. I think it was the 15th of July. He was still putting in soybeans. Might have been the 16th or 17th. It was quite a while. It was not long ago. He's still drilling in soybeans, which is really pushing the limits. They were second crop beans, and he figures if he gets 12 to 15 bushels to the acre, he'll make money. I don't know. I've done second crop beans on rye. You really have to feed the ever-loving shit out of it in order to get it up enough. So put down a lot of potash, and hope and pray that you get the weather to mature them. Because if we get an early frost, you know, he's going to group 2, so they should mature, but who knows? So there's a lot of... I expect the price of soybeans to plummet because I watch Big Tractor Power, and he is filming guys second cropping, double cropping soybeans. I know my neighbor's double cropped beans. I know there's a guy up the road, he double cropped all his wheat acres into beans. There's just going to be a shit ton of soybeans on the market. Unless we have a catastrophic event that stops the growth of these soybeans, you better have your beans sold. That's all I can say right now, is they are going to dip because everybody and their brother has thrown beans in the ground. Corn, on the other hand, I saw a lot of bad corn. I crossed the country, and I saw a lot of bad corn, and here there's bad corn. Not every area, but there's a lot of bad corn. So, with that being said, I guess we can move on to other things like equipment. I am not purchasing any new equipment this year. I'm just kind of recovering. I bought a lot of equipment in the last few years, and it's got to get paid for. I mean, the tractors and stuff, they were paid for, but there's other things that just repair parts and bits and pieces and things like that. I just have to catch up on my back bills and other things, because while I was paying for those pieces of equipment, I was neglecting a few of the other things, and that's just part of my, it is what it is kind of an attitude here. You want to get something done, and then you suffer in other areas, and then you turn around and you look and you're like, hey, you know what, I should have probably paid a little longer on those tractors instead of trying to funnel all that money over to those tractors. But the interest rate was higher, so I had to deal with that. But I think after this year, I should be all caught up, and I should be in perfectly good shape for the new purchase of the new baler in Probably I'm going to order it in 2019. So the end of 2019, I'll be ordering that baler for 2020. So that's my plan. But I want to have all my other bills, completely wiped away by then so that I can possibly purchase it outright, which would be nice. I got some other things in the works that could allow me to get that thing bought pretty easily. It's going to be a lot of work, and I'll fill you in on that soon enough. But anyways, with that being said, I guess I'm going to let you go. It's been 25 minutes of me yammering on and talking about different things. I think I've answered all the questions. If you got any other questions that you'd like to ask me, just put them in the comment section below. I'll get through them. No redundancies. I mean, if you've seen the question before, I've probably answered it. So new questions only, please. Like, I don't know. I've heard anything, like with Teresa, if you want to, you should marry Teresa. Well, we're not married, but we're getting married. Are we engaged? Yes, we are. And, there's a natural order to things. Am I going to put that online? Possibly not. Probably not. They're just, to me, there's so many YouTubers, they go into that, they start out with a type of video set. They meet a woman, they have a family, and boom, their channel dies because all you see is them rolling around on the floor with their little kid. A marriage or a wedding together, it goes changes the dynamic. It goes from just me at arm's length talking into a camera to me and Teresa doing all kinds of things. Well, Teresa's well received, but I'm just kind of separating that from my YouTube world. So that's what you're not going to, probably 99% chance, you're not going to see a lot of stuff from me and Teresa as, the wedding and all that other stuff. Because, to be quite honest with you, we're getting married, but we're not going to have a big bash marriage, because we've both been married before. And we've kind of agreed that it isn't something that we want to share with the rest of the world. Maybe a blip, one video blip of, yay, we got married, and me driving off into the sunset with a 1931 Model A or something like that. Who knows? But that won't be on this channel. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you on hopefully Wednesday.